Hello, everyone, and welcome to the IGN UK podcast. I'm your host for today, Rory Magic Powers, and I am joined by my two lovely assistants. On the left is...
Joe Embarrassed Scribbles.
Embarrassed. Don't be embarrassed, Joe. It's all normal. It's perfectly normal.
Magic Powers.
Yeah, you own it. Should I put the glasses back on? Will that help? Okay. And I'm also joined on my right by...
Daniel Distraught Krupa.
Distraught Krupa. We were just we were joking before the podcast started that you were using some words that I had never come across in my daily
We weren't
life.
joking.
Basic
they are real
prepositions.
words.
Oh, I wouldn't know anymore because...
Oh, I can't have this conversation. For people listening, Rory's wearing a Cyclops visor.
Yeah. I'm just giving incentives to watch.
You look like
the video.
You look like a shit RoboCop.
I can see your little eyes through it.
How can you? Oh, that kind of takes away from it.
Yeah,
because I was making eye contact with Joe, but I was actually looking down and drinking my coffee, but I didn't know if he could.
I couldn't. The interesting thing is that when you're looking forwards, I can see Krupa in your reflection because they're like
you just look dead
circular.
ahead.
Yeah, just
Look
look
ahead?
forwards.
Oh, yeah, I can see Joe. Me and Joe can have a conversation through your visor.
Via the visor.
You're bringing people together. You're like
this was the
modern
point.
equivalent of a Italian whispering wall. There you go, dropping that reference.
That was excellent.
And that's what I was going
I
for.
saw one of them recently on an episode of Rick Stein.
Really?
Anyway.
Well, that's what I was going for from the get-go. So we've had a very busy week, doing lots of things, watching lots of movies, going to lots of events. And one...
Show off?
Yeah. Well, I've went to a couple cool events today.
That is true.
But Joe, you wanted to talk about one specific television show.
Yeah, I want to talk about Preacher.
Yeah.
Have you watched it yet?
So I haven't watched it yet, and it's a shame because I actually have Amazon Prime as well.
It's worth
so
it.
I have no
It's
excuse. I don't use it for anything.
One of the only things worth watching.
Unsubscribe. It's quite a lot of money if you're not using it.
It's only like £50 a year, isn't it?
£70. Well, and they took it down, I think.
Okay.
Well, there we go.
No one was using it.
Yeah, it's one of the only things worth watching on there. So it's you
Mr.
should do it.
Robot?
Yeah, that I did not like that show at all.
Yeah.
The Imitation Game with Benedict Cumberbatch. That's
seen that
a
yet.
Amazon Prime exclusive.
It Follows is on there. That's good.
Yeah, that's good.
Is it really?
Yes, that's well worth watching. But anyway, Preacher.
sorted.
Have you watched the first episode of Preacher?
I watched the first episode.
What did you think of it?
I liked it.
Yeah.
It's quite long. It's like an hour,
it's
hour
like-
long show, and I thought it was a good first episode. I was wondering if someone. So I've only read the first book of the graphic novel, the series, and I thought if you didn't know what any of this about, very disorientating.
So I watched it with two people who've never read any of the comics, and they were kind of like I'd given them a small brief. So to explain, it's basically about, well, this is the thing. It takes an hour for this to happen, but essentially the book starts at the point at which a sort of disillusioned Texas preacher has some sort of mystical force enter his body. And in the books, it makes the church explode and he vaporizes the entire town. That does not happen in this. So they're already making changes, which I'm quite happy with, because Preacher is pretty full on as far as comic books go. I read it all recently. It's as the comic books are something that you are meant to enjoy as a teenager because they are morally reprehensible. Parents would hate them.
Love that stuff. Loved it.
This guy.
I was a wild one.
Blasphemy, swearing, violence. It's got the whole lot. It's truly unpleasant.
So the character of Preacher, this goes to show how little I know about the series. What is his actual ability, his actual power?
So again, we don't fully know how they're pitching it in the show. But in the comic books, the thing that is in him gives him the power of the word of God. And he can tell anyone to do anything, and they will do it literally.
Oh, I like that. That's like Code Geass stuff going on right there.
Right. So we see a glimpse of that at the end of this.
Something happens, which
I don't want to give away.
Shocking.
It's amazing.
Ooh,
Yeah.
I like this. All right, here's my next question.
Yes.
If I offered that gift to you at the price of vaporizing your hometown, would you accept it or not?
Absolutely not.
Why not?
Oh my God, two completely different directions there.
Actually, yeah. Well, my hometown's Ottawa, and I don't know anyone there anymore, so it's fine.
Later, Ottawa.
Get rid.
I was doing domestic terrorism, and Joe's gone full international.
Yeah, poor old Canada.
Canada's like, it's fine, we'll clean it up.
We've only got this wildfire to deal with. We'll do that as well.
Oh God, don't add to the troubles.
I know, right?
Unbelievable.
The troubles were your deal, weren't they?
Oh yeah, sorry. I mean, Northern Ireland's gone. That's fine.
Various forms of terrorism on today's show. Lovely.
Amazing.
Lovely stuff.
Great.
But yeah, basically, I thought the first episode, from the point of view of someone, I don't call myself a Preacher fan because having read it later, the comics made me feel a bit ill a lot of the time.
That's impressive for a comic.
I think, they're really unpleasant, and I think they were written with quite bad intentions. A lot of them, like there's some really questionable material in them.
Okay.
Like there's a really virulent strain of homophobia that runs through the comics, which makes it feel really unpleasant to read as someone who like actually cares about that stuff.
Yeah.
If you're a teenager, might not notice it. You might just think it's jokes, but it's actually quite mean-spirited. But the kind of running story of Preacher is so entertaining that I read all of it because it's just like great. Like it's really propulsive and weird.
I think the first episode suggests that they're going to do some of. You talk about creatively violent and shocking things.
Yes.
There's some stuff in the first episode that I've never seen done before. There's a thing involving a champagne bottle.
Oh Christ! Yeah, that's amazing.
And I was like,
Where is it put?
Well, not where you're thinking.
Ah, okay.
Yeah.
Absolutely not where you're thinking.
I was
No,
I've
no, no.
never
different.
seen that before.
and
And I
when you-
watched a lot of horror movies, and it's like really surprising.
Yeah, and it's a really nice introduction.
like, yeah.
Without spoilers, it's a really nice introduction to the character of Cassidy because you don't know what's going on, and then
like that
suddenly that guy's great.
Joe Gilgun.
Yeah, he's in Misfits as well, isn't
Yeah,
he?
and This Is England. He's
Is
so
England.
funny.
Oh,
in
yeah.
This Is
Brilliant.
England. He grew up in Chorley, which is like the town over from where I grew up, and he went to college where a lot of my friends went. He's just naturally funny.
Yeah.
Although his Irish accent, I couldn't tell what he was saying initially.
Well, I think that's the point, though. I think they're making him like full on, like this guy is so Irish, and they don't. And like I was worried they were going to subtitle him, and they don't. Like, which is nice. Like it feels like they get the spirit of the comic book, which is that it's meant to be slightly out of control. And yeah, like
That's
you
a
say,
great sequence.
yeah, the champagne bottle bit thing is the perfect way to go. Oh, I think this guy is this.
Yeah.
Like you get it.
What happens with a champagne
know, right?
bottle?
Man, you've got
You've won me.
And
You've won me over.
then a cow.
And then a cow.
All right, now
You're sold.
Now I'm sold.
But anyway, my point here is that the Preacher episode, I think it does a really good job of introducing it. I enjoyed it a lot as a semi-fan of the comics. But I'm interested as to what they might change. And I've put together a short quiz about things that
Yay.
happen in Preacher that actually happen in the comic books.
Let's do it. Get ready to get
may,
your ass beat, Dan.
That may or may not
Get a
make
pen.
it onto screen.
Get a pen.
Getting
Oh,
a pen?
So I feel like this is a bit mean because Dan has read the book.
I've read the first one.
I've purposely
Okay.
tried not to include anything I think is in the first book.
Okay.
So you should both be fair here.
I guess my natural brilliance as well will excel me a little bit above. So
I should point out everything I'm going to say has not even been hinted at in this show.
Okay.
So I
No
don't
spoiler
think
alert.
this counts as spoilers.
Okay.
Some of it might end up being spoilers, but what are you going to do?
Yeah.
I should also warn, this is pretty full on. If you are easily offended, I'm
they're
sorry.
easily offended. They probably wouldn't be listening to the IGN UK
I
podcast.
apologize.
So
It's
the
your
ones
fault.
you've made up a terrifying glimpse into Joe's soul.
Yeah, this is going to be great.
I love the way we start with, would you destroy and vaporize your hometown?
Yeah.
And then after that, we're like, now make it a little graphic later on
Yeah.
in the podcast, so
this
be
is
careful.
the thing. I really had to match some stuff that I'm not comfortable with. So here we go. Right.
What is this? What is happening? Smut.
Business magnate Odin Quincannon has two dark secrets. What are they? A. He's in the Ku Klux Klan and has a giant fuck doll made of meat in a warehouse.
Who doesn't?
B. He's a serial killer and has a giant fuck doll made of wheat in a warehouse.
No one is making one out of wheat.
You don't want to bone that.
He knits little hats for cats and puts on private fashion shows, then has sex with them.
Well, it's
The cats?
Are we in competition? Or are we
Ew.
working together? Competition.
It's up to you. I
don't know.
I don't mind either way.
We can work together.
Either work together. Let's talk it through. Like,
think
no
it'd be
one
nice.
is making a fuck doll out of wheat.
No. Why not?
I would not shag a wheat a bit. Like, imagine that. Imagine the
imagine-
like.
The
I'd be in shreds.
The little fronds. They
No.
look soft.
Add milk.
Yeah, no.
Add milk.
Yeah.
It's not wheat to bits.
just a
It's
solid-
Yeah, I
wheat.
know, but I'm thinking like desiccated husks.
What are they called? Sheaves. Sheaves of wheat.
It's like, you know when you're in the sand dunes at a beach and you're like running through what are those called? The reeds?
Yeah.
And they just like jab and like
Oh.
poke you. Yeah, it'd be
Yeah.
horrible. I don't want to bang one of those.
Yeah. But Odin Quincannon's not you.
Right.
Oh, well, I think.
Are we going meat?
What was option 3? Sorry.
He knits little hats for cats and puts on private fashion shows, then has sex with them.
He's not going to have sex with a cat. That's horrible.
The whole point of this is, I think one seems like,
Makes sense.
but it's probably the least.
It
out,
makes
it's
sense.
the least. It's the
Within
least out
reason.
there. It's the least out there.
I was
It's still,
Giant fuck
it's still
doll made of
relatively
meat.
out there. Better than making a cat a hat and then.
Why would you make it a hat and then have sex with it? You don't have to wine and
Odin
dine it. It's a
Steel.
cat.
Maintain.
You don't have to wine and dine it. It's not because he's trying to prepare it.
Grooming a cat.
I have a tickle in my throat today that makes me laugh like a cartoon dog. So that's going to be coming out full force. I'm going with A.
Should we do A?
I think A.
A is correct. He is in the Ku Klux Klan and has a giant fuck doll made of meat in a warehouse. There is Odin Quincannon, or at least Quincannon Industries, has been teased in the show already, which I'm really looking
Oh, it's
forward
like
to
an
seeing.
abattoir, isn't it?
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to seeing
What
how
a
they
cool
deal with
second
that.
name, Quincannon.
Quincannon.
Powers is pretty good. But
His-
Quincannon.
His brother's called Conan Quincannon.
Conan Quincannon. Oh my god.
good shit.
I want to get a beer with that guy. That sounds amazing.
Well, go back to the warehouse.
Well,
Back to the warehouse.
Conan's nice, Odin's not. So
Right,
you're
okay,
You'd
Conan's
be all
okay.
right for a beer with Conan.
Make some cat hats.
Yeah. So,
No funny business.
Johnny Lee Wombat is a failed astronaut who takes revenge against NASA by A. Carving the words "fuck you" into the desert large enough that they can be seen from space.
Sounds like
B.
effort.
Selling scientific secrets to China, who accidentally blow a star-shaped chunk out of the moon. Or C. Going to the Cape Canaveral Museum once a week, turning an astronaut's helmet upside down and pissing in it.
I do really like C.
I really hope it's C. That'd be so good.
Imagine working out. Oh, again.
Not again.
Every week.
Have you fixed the camera yet?
I
Who
bet
does the night shifts?
it can't be Johnny Lee Wombat.
Not him.
I know his visits coincide with the piss helmet every week.
He just
During
appreciates.
the day, he just shows up and drinks liters of Diet Coke and winking. Couldn't be him. Couldn't be him.
Winking at who? The helmet.
The helmet. I'm coming for you.
Later on, love.
I'm going to turn you upside down and fill you up.
I think the first one sounds like a lot of effort to go to for a little prank.
Carving the words "fuck you" into the desert large enough
Yeah.
to be seen from space.
Yeah.
But if you're going to go big.
Yeah. Literally.
Literally go back.
I might go for piss helmet. I'm happy to
go for piss helmet. Because it's like... It's one of my favourite things.
Okay, yeah. Let's see. We'll go piss helmet.
It was carving "fuck you" into the desert.
Oh!
And at
God
the end,
damn.
he gets his revenge because the space shuttle flies over it and sees the words "fuck you" and he's happy and his life's worth something. It's a parable of hope. I
This
couldn't say
also
that
means
word.
that you, before this podcast, came up with the idea of pissing in an astronaut's
Yeah.
helmet.
It really made me laugh at my desk for ages.
Just laughing maniacally. Yeah.
Here we go.
All right, so we're 1-1. That's not
One
bad.
on
Yeah, 1 and 1.
Okay.
1 and 2.
Miss Oatlash is a corporate lawyer, Hitler apologist, and sadomasochist. But which hobby-based statement does she make to lead character Jesse Custer in a moment of lust? A. She tells him, "You require an extensive audit." B. That's the lawyer bit.
Okay.
You get it. B. She calls him my Führer of love.
Oh, you don't want
Hitler
to be called
apologist.
that. You never
C.
want to be called that.
She presents him with a cattle prod and a head of broccoli, saying, "You choose." Just got sexy in here.
It did. Woo, things are hot now. My
love-
Führer of love?
yeah.
Are you kidding me?
I love broccoli.
Oh, yeah,
It
you
is
went for
nice.
broccoli.
I would choose
Tender
the
stem.
broccoli. Tender stem. That's what you want.
That's what I look for in a
That's
lover.
better than wheat.
Just a tender stem.
I don't know.
But I don't know whether Joe is just like going for something more subtle here. So it's
Yeah.
just like the order and it's just a little bit flirty.
No. No. I
You
don't
sort of go
think
cattle
so.
prod, don't you?
I think, yeah. I think.
All
I
right,
think
let's
the
go cattle.
prod.
Oh, does broccoli?
Well, no, not
Like,
broccoli.
are they big into broccoli in Texas?
Mine
I don't
Führer
feel like
of
they would-
love, I
I don't
think.
think they'd say broccoli. I think they'd like collard greens.
Yeah.
Coloured greens.
Mini trees. Yo, kids.
mini trees.
Kids, y'all eat your mini trees. That was Georgia. That wasn't really Texas.
That was
but,
good. That I
yeah.
enjoyed that.
That's how my mom used to try and get me to eat them.
What'd
She
you
was
say?
like, "Look, you're a giant, Rory. You can
On
eat the mini
on
trees."
on the plantation, and you were walking around.
Through the cotton fields, eating
You run
broccoli,
around in
eating
all,
mini
in
trees
all
and the-
white.
with one of those like Kentucky bow ties. Yeah, my
bow
dad's
tie.
on the front porch with a shotgun, just like yeah.
Rory, get back!
Yeah, go on home.
Right.
I'm gonna go for 2.
Fucking hell.
2.
Should we go 2? Let's go 2.
Correct. She calls him my Führer of love.
That was a good call on the broccoli thing. I would've
Apparently,
picked up on
Jesse
that.
Custer is the perfect Aryan specimen. So,
Not
We can relate. Mm-hmm. I love the way you're Aryan as well, but you pointed at me.
Yeah.
You're like perfect Aryan specimen.
Yeah, but you do the hands.
What's the hands? Oh,
I've seen you do that in the office.
You have done that.
Yeah, it's because people
did you
leave
do
you
that?
hanging for a
How
high
did you
five.
see that?
that's how I pee. I just.
Oh my god.
That's gonna be a GIF, isn't it?
Yep.
Shit. Okay.
You know,
Let's just
GIFs don't
breeze
have
past.
sound, so it's literally just the action
Yeah,
of
it's
what
bad.
you just did.
Cut that in the GIF.
Don't do that. That looks like you're
peace?
gesticulating
I'm
like
beheading.
Adolf.
Doing that for.
You're basically recreating a scene from Father Ted.
does do that.
Yeah, I know. Do you know that?
I can't win.
You just did that as well.
What's a
Yeah.
happy one?
Right,
What's a
cut-
happy one? Thumbs up.
Well,
Fault that.
If they cut that after you doing the.
Yeah.
Photoshop swastikas on my fists or something.
Oh,
Hate and
God.
hate on my knuckles while I do it. Well, okay, that's good. We got 2 wins, 1 L.
Okay.
We're up plus 1 KD.
and
We're
three.
wrecking this. We can get a kill streak if we kept it clean.
Which malicious.
This is what keyword countdown
I'm just
needs.
I'm moving past
Any
it.
classes.
Keep going, Joe.
Which malicious religious leader is both morbidly obese and bulimic? A. The Bishop of Boston. B. A reincarnated Buddha. Or C. A sort of secret ultra pope.
I love the sound of the Ultra Pope. He should be an Overwatch hero.
Ultra pope.
Ultra Pope.
Morbidly obese bulimic ultra pope.
Can I hear?
The Bishop of Boston.
Always the same.
A reincarnated Buddha. Or a sort of secret ultra pope.
Sort of secret.
Secret Ultra.
Why would he specify sort of secret? That seems quite specific. But then the Buddha would be. Is that too far fetched?
Is it too far
can we have the
fetched?
description again?
Yeah.
Which malicious religious leader is both morbidly obese and bulimic?
Morbidly obese and bulimic. Like Buddha throughout
Notorious for
history,
being a-
but sometimes depicted as a slight fellow as well.
They did.
Siddhartha Gautama.
I saw one with a 6-pack
What he said.
at the museum in London.
Which
Six-pack
would
Buddha.
tally,
Yeah, Six-pack
which would
Buddha.
tally
It's a
with
great
like
band name.
an idea that he's like fluctuated over the years.
Oh, between bulimia and obesity. That'd be good.
Pope, but there is a pope.
There is a pope.
who's
There's
not
already
so
a pope.
secret.
Maybe Buddha. You want to go Buddha?
Let's go Buddha.
Let's go Buddha.
It's a sort of secret ultra pope.
Ah, damn it!
His name is Allfather Daranique, and they apparently spend $60 million a year on replacing wheels of private jets that he's crumpled on landing because he's so fat.
How big is he? How did he
He's
get into
gigantic,
jets?
and he vomits on himself almost constantly. It's gross. He has like a little thing to put down his throat, like 2 little ivory
cross?
fingers.
2 little ivory things. Oh.
It's
Little angry fingers?
Ivory.
Oh! I was like, what's
Both.
an angry finger?
They're fuming.
Yeah.
That's their
Living.
day.
Oh, we're gonna do that
going down again. Oh shit! He's on a bagel.
Allfather Daranique's gross. To follow up on Allfather Daranique, his organisation, the Grail, is involved in this conspiracy. It turns out Jesus didn't die when they say he did, and his mystic bloodline has been kept alive through horrific inbreeding. The current Messiah is a cheerful, mentally handicapped young man who only ever says one word. What is it? A. Humper Dido. B. Humper Lulu. Or C. Humper Jerry Halliwell.
See, it's been a while since I was at Sunday school, so I can't remember.
When we were told about the inbred.
Yeah, the parable of
What
the...
was B?
Humper Lulu.
That sounds pretty good.
Humper Dido. Humper Lulu.
Well, Dido, obviously named from antiquity, Latin, also means grandfather. in
I'm glad
Ukrainian.
we're on the same team. here.
Jesus, you put more thought into this than I expected. Because the broccoli thing was good anyway.
Dido.
Humpadido?
Dido.
It is Humper Dido. I don't think that has anything to
smart.
do with it. I think you've
Nice.
like reverse
Basically
engineered.
convinced myself.
Yeah, you reverse engineered the
In the
correct
same way that
answer.
the Buddha thing did not pan out.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
See, that's why the Buddha thing. I was going for the obese
He
thing.
knows,
I was
he knows
trying
what
to
he's
help.
doing.
All right.
Bait and switch.
Here we go. 2 more. At one point, the crew visit the mansion of sexual libertine Jesus de Sade. What act do we not see inside the mansion? A. A man parking his bicycle in the cleft of another person's butt. B.
It's like he's never heard that joke
Yeah.
before.
2. Wait, A,
My
B.
laugh is so whispery.
I'm
And
Muttley.
it makes me, when I laugh, my throat tickles, which makes me laugh more. So it's just like, yeah, it's like Muttley.
B. 2 Siamese twins kissing 2 other Siamese twins in an amphitheatre.
Ooh, that's quite specific.
C. A nude man kept in stocks, surrounded by disinterested sheep.
So it's which one we don't see.
Yeah,
so
one of these
embarrassing.
didn't happen.
If you're gonna be
bicycle.
shackled nude, at least you'd hope the sheep would be
Is
interested.
it the bicycle? So I don't know. Who was parking the bicycle again?
A man.
Just a man.
Just a man. I don't know.
Siamese twin thing sounds like a scene from a David Lynch movie.
It does. It does. What was the third one?
A nude man kept in stocks, surrounded by disinterested sheep.
Well, this is one we don't see.
That's
We
good.
don't see
I
that.
like that.
Two of these happen.
Yeah, I like that one.
Two of these happen.
Yeah.
Of course.
Sorry, we're asking you to repeat all parts of this question, but where is this set?
This is in Jesus Desade's The Sexual Libertines Mansion.
Well,
Yeah.
the sheep kind of makes sense a bit.
In what context?
Well, Christianity.
Oh.
Sheep, like,
What? Again, you're looking way too
but like
deeply
if
into
he
the
was like
content.
doing like weird kinky stuff that has some kind of religious significance, like at least sheep
Oh,
have.
he's just called Jesus. He's not anything to do with the religious.
This isn't
conspiracy.
Right.
Right.
Super Jesus.
He's
or the
just
Ultra Pope.
No,
Right.
he's just a sexual libertine.
Okay.
it's
Well,
in a
everything's out the window then.
It's in a mansion which is likely to have
Space.
an amphitheater. So I'm going to take that one. That's
All
a tick.
mansions have amphitheatre.
Well, it's likely.
Well-
It's likely. So I'm going to rule out B. So it's the bike or the sheep.
Was it the bike? It's quite a familiar gag. Parking a bicycle in someone's arse.
It's new to me.
But
I've never heard of that before.
Really?
Is that
Oh.
a thing? Because when you said he's
Oh.
never heard that joke before,
yeah, that's like quite a.
I mean,
old
I'd never
joke
seen it
thing.
before I'd seen this comic.
Oh, damn
But
it.
still amusing to actually see it depicted in a visual medium.
But he just said he's never seen it until he saw this comic, which makes me believe that he discovered it
Oh,
in the comic.
powers.
Which means number C it is.
Number C.
Detective
Number
Power.
C. Oh my god. You did him and then you said number
Oh,
C.
God.
Also, it could be B still.
It's
Yeah,
like,
it's B.
you
Ruled out the correct one.
Joking.
Amphitheatre. It was a twist.
I'm like,
Gotta have an
it's like
amphitheatre.
Poirot. I just brought everyone into
Gotta
the
have
living
an
room and then
amphitheatre.
got the murder wrong. It's like, this is embarrassing.
That is really.
That's not
Can
like Poirot.
Yeah.
Poirot gets it right.
When everyone comes to the library.
Yeah. Can we guys actually go to the billiard room? We already tried to solve this. Yeah, but I think I've got it now. Second time. Come on back.
Just there all night. Eventually the murderer It was me.
Yeah.
Can't we just go home?
Final question. Which American celebrity appears as a ghost to Jesse Custer as a child, despite not being dead at the time? And also once gave Jesse's father a lighter with "fuck communism" engraved on it.
Ooh.
A. Richard Nixon. B. John Wayne. C. Janis Joplin.
What did it say on the lighter?
Fuck communism.
Is that a Richard Nixon kind of thing to say? Like, all jowly? Rock communism.
Wait, he went
It's
to
hard to
China.
engrave the words "fuck communism" with a jowly inflection.
What typeface am I using?
Yeah.
Is that italics?
Yeah, you just want like wobbly Times New Roman.
Wobbly.
Yeah, like all like through a heat haze.
Or just wingdings.
That implies
Yeah.
jowliness.
Richard
And you
Nixon.
said he was alive at the time of the comic.
He was alive at he or she was alive at the time Jesse Custer was a child, and the ghost
Ooh,
appeared to
right.
him.
I have no idea.
I don't think John Wayne would do it.
All fictional.
I don't know. It just doesn't seem like John
Do you know what
Wayne's
John
there.
Wayne's real name is?
No. Are you going to ruin it for me?
Would you? Yeah, probably.
Ruin the legend of John Wayne?
Marion.
Oh, no.
Really?
Marion Morrison.
I can see why I changed it. Or you just insulted all of our married
Not
listeners.
insult. What's his real
All our
name?
Marion listeners.
All our Marion listeners. If your name is Marion and you listen to the podcast, I'm really sorry. It's
I'm
Marion.
not saying Marion's a bad name. You've put that on there. I'm just
didn't
saying
put
what
that-
John Wayne's real name is.
But combined with his second name, that's not a good name.
Alliterative. Anyway,
Alliteration.
we're getting bogged down.
We are.
Seems like
Richard
you've
Nixon.
lost interest.
No, you go for it because I've suggested. I thought I had it, and then
I really don't know. Nixon or Wayne? Oh,
I
is it
think
Nixon?
I think Nixon.
Nixon.
Incorrect. And I think it was John Wayne. And I think this is the only one you will have seen in the comics. So you've really let yourself down there, Krupa.
Dan, what are you doing?
So sorry. So sorry. So what we got? We got 3 out of what?
7. That's okay.
It's not great though. I
alright.
would
It
have liked to
proves
be
that I
above.
am good at coming up with
Yeah.
really gross shit.
Yeah,
It
So
really
I'm happy
does.
with that.
Yeah.
So Preacher's interesting. You should all read it and feel a bit bad about yourselves afterwards, like I did.
Cool. Well, moving on from weird sex parties and body mutilation, on a bit of a lighter note, I went to a cat cafe yesterday.
And you made little hats for them.
And I made little hats for them. No funny business. No funny
Apart from
business.
aforementioned hats.
Apart from aforementioned hats. I've been meaning to go to a cat cafe. It's been on like my to-do list for years.
There's lots of stuff.
I was going to say I'd make fun of you, but I recently tried to go to a dog cafe and it had been shut down.
So there is such thing as a dog cafe.
Yeah, but it's shut down.
Well, because it'd be madness. It'd be chaos.
It looked amazing. One of the windows was broken, so genuinely, that could have been it. Like one of the dogs just went
gone
nuts.
rogue, yeah.
Went rogue.
Like the dark zone.
Dark zone of
You go
dogs.
in and there's just a pack of dogs waiting for you. They just jump you and take your gear. Exactly.
Am I right? This is some weirdly specific observational
But that's the
comedy.
thing,
Then
like,
they get
yeah.
their dog toys to the extraction helicopter and it's like lifted out.
getting
and you
weirder.
get it.
It's
Yeah.
getting weird.
Yeah, that's my job. I get
Yeah.
weird with it. So the one I went to is, I think, one of the only ones in London. And as I said, I've been meaning to go, but there's like a 2 or 3 month waiting list. Like you have to book
Jesus
that far in
Christ.
advance. Yeah, it's absolutely insane.
Wait, so you went there during work?
Yes.
Was it for work?
Yes.
It was for work. So it was.
What were you doing?
It was to celebrate the release of the Top Cat movie.
Okay.
You went along with loads of mummy bloggers.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. So I didn't really know.
Oh man, let me tell you about mummy bloggers.
Yeah. Ooh yeah.
Imagine you aligned in that environment.
There was. I would fit right in. Moms love me.
I'm sure they
Actually,
do.
I'm sure they do.
I'm
They
sure they do.
absolutely do.
Harmless.
But there was it was a really weird like group of people that were there. So there was like one guy who
Me.
He was like asking what I did, and I was like, I work for an entertainment website called IGN. And I was like, what do you do? And he's like, I work for a cat website. And I was like, what? And I was like, you mean like cat like pet health or something? And he was like, no, just cat news, cat videos, cat gifs. And I was just like,
I mean,
freelance? Do you do freelance?
For all the
I was
things like to be on the internet, I'm
Yeah.
sure he's doing
Yeah.
great business.
Makes perfect
There
sense.
was also a couple who were writing a book about cats in the war in World War II.
What? What, like,
this guy-
like Wojciech the bear?
This guy,
What were they doing interviewing?
yeah, just doing little interviews, like tell us
For
your harrowing
Top Cat
tales.
event.
These like cats that are just scarred, having like Vietnam flashbacks.
Doing shell shocks behinds.
But I was actually really sad because I was like, oh, that's really interesting, like how pets were used in the war. And they were like, no, it's about when families had to flee and they couldn't take their pets, so they just shot them. And I was like,
That's a book?
that's a book.
A whole book?
Apparently. About you just had to look at you're gonna be
I
sick
just,
for a
I
second.
was thinking like, I just leave it.
Yeah.
I don't
Give
think
it
I'd
a
shoot
chance.
it.
Well, it would die. It'll
Better
starve.
me than some German.
But I get, like, I get leaving, like, it would kill me, but I get leaving like a massive dog behind. But a cat can go in a bag or like under
Yeah.
an
Just
put him like in my hood.
Also, I don't.
That's
like an anime character.
That's just like a dad who doesn't like the family cat and is like,
Yeah.
well, gotta do it.
Sorry, guys, gotta put down
See no
whiskers.
yellow. This is what you do.
Like they've got the cage all ready, and he's just like, no.
Dad, they can
Blows
take
its
cats.
head
They
off.
said no.
The war ended.
That's like a really
He's
bad
gone.
strategy.
Patches is gone.
Coping with leaving something. Just
Yeah.
don't transfer
Kill it.
that. Kill it.
When my
What kind
dad
of moral does this book have?
when my dad was a kid, when he was like 10
What?
years old or something, my grandparents, or his parents, made him
Thanks.
made him just clarifying.
This is going for so long, and I'm really worried about what the
Made
end
him
of it is.
take his like favorite teddy bear and go leave it in the woods and just like leave it behind, and that
That's
was like his becoming a man.
Is that your equivalent of like standing on the top of a big pole?
This is so they just
Or mutilate
recreated the Roman centurion thing or the Spartan thing where they have to kill a puppy that they've brought up since childhood. No, wait, no, that's Game
Essentially.
of Thrones.
And Kingsman.
And Kingsman.
Yeah.
But with a teddy.
So then he just had to like walk away and just leave the teddy in the
But
woods.
imagine this terrifying forest in Georgia that you go into, and there's loads of these teddy bears just like that.
Hundreds of them, like the
Hundreds
suicide
of them.
forests
in
in
Japan, yeah.
What?
They're just
And then,
hanging
like,
from the trees.
People
Just
still going, what's happening here? I don't know. We have to leave right now.
This is some pure True Detective
Or maybe,
shit.
Yeah.
maybe it would be like 300. Like he comes back, the teddy bear comes back one day with a wolf pelt, and now he's a man.
Your
Like,
dad's the
he's, like,
king in
stronger.
fur.
Yeah,
like fucking Robin Williams in Jumanji.
with a big
He
beard.
just comes back. What year is it?
You left me, Gene.
Oh my God, Ruffles! I'm sorry.
But long story
Should
short,
have killed him.
Killed him.
it made him so upset that he just insisted I had teddy bears. To this day.
Good.
To this day.
I've
yeah.
got one. It's nice.
So back to the original point, Cat Cafe was amazing. It was great. I think there was like around 12 to 15 cats there. And what was really nice is they're all rescue cats. So it's like cats that maybe like their owners died. Really friendly.
I feel like they'd all be. I know like cats that I know.
Yeah.
That aren't particularly nice.
I hate cats.
I like the idea of cats.
They're evil.
I like
They're
the
not
idea
evil.
of cats,
No,
but
they're-
the actual reality of cats is like they just don't care.
Yeah.
I
No,
know
that's-
this. I know that's a.
It's a
bit of
broad.
a general statement,
Yeah.
but in my limited experience, that's
Look,
true.
we shrunk
That's why I
angry
was-
monsters that we stay away from and put them in our houses. It makes no sense at all. They're
These
horrible
ones-
beasts.
So, like, the only difference was, so my cat, for example, that I have back in Northern Ireland, like,
I shot it.
anytime
You
I
should
see
shoot- yeah.
him, he's like, well, I left him in the woods, but he came back. Anytime I see him, he's like super excited, so he like leaves him between your legs, like try and jump on, he wants to
That's
like pet
nice.
and play with. It's really nice. Obviously, these cats, like, everyone's trying to play with them and like get them toys, so it's like they're really friendly, but also like they don't want to like come engage with you. You like have to go engage with them, which was a bit weird for me because you think you would just go and then all the cats would like flock to you.
All these diva cats on
Yeah.
little
They were
velvet
like
pillows.
so cute. But it's such a great idea because obviously it's like huge in Japan. You can just go and like get a cup of tea or coffee, some biscuits and things, and just
After
like
a
hang out with
3-month
cats.
wait. I'm absolutely
After a 3-month
parched.
wait.
Yeah.
I know.
Oh, now I'm relaxed.
Yeah. It was such a blast.
Have they-
Like if they make a puppy one, that would be
Oh,
incredible.
I'd go mad. How big is the place? Because like 12 to 15 cats
Also,
doesn't actually
what do they
sound
do
like
at
that
night?
many
Just like
cats.
lock them all up.
Well,
They
yeah.
stay there,
What do
or
you do
they-
with the regular cat?
No,
Yeah,
no,
to
but
be
it's
fair.
weird. Like a shop, just loads like walking past at night, coming home from the pub. There's loads of cats in there just looking at you.
You can see them from the windows, and they're adorable. But there's 2 floors. So like one is like the little cafe bit, but the cats can come up there. And then once you go down, there's like a whole like
Cat
like
dungeon.
eating area. Yeah, the cat dungeon. But it's like really well designed as well. So they have walkways all along
I'd
the
be,
room, and
like,
little bridges
worried
and
that-
things, and they can all just like explore.
is
and
cool as hell.
But if
There's
you're
even like a
carrying-
hamster wheel that they can just run in and like.
Is it
it's
table
adorable.
service?
Well, I don't know.
Because the reason why I'm asking this,
I'm thinking-
I get
Well, you
really
think the cats-
stressed. I get really stressed when I'm at Costa and I have to walk with a tray of like hot coffees.
Yeah.
But then if I'm dodging
around.
cats, like weaving in and out of my legs,
I was going to
don't-
say, like, is it like Freddie Mercury's famous parties where he had little dwarf people with that had, like
Is
trays
this a
on their
preacher?
heads? No, this is a real thing Freddie Mercury did. But yeah, I was thinking like the cats could have little trays on them, just wobbling around.
Yeah.
Well, there was one of the people who worked there was like cleaning up one of the tables, and then she was going up the stairs to get rid of them, and a cat jumped on her back, and then she was like, "eh," and she just walked up the stairs
I
with the
would
cat on
freak
her
out.
back.
I'd
just
lose
like,
my mind.
Oh, it was
I'd drop like the
amazing.
Scotty.
They were so with Scotty.
Cafes are very like milk-centric area
Yeah.
as well.
Yeah.
That's danger.
They know though. They know not
Where are
to
the
eat the
litter
food.
boxes?
I don't know. Whatever they want it to
Does
be.
it smell?
You're in cat. No. It smells good. It smells like, well, this is like tea and biscuits and things. That's like just filling the room with delicious aura.
covering up the smell of cat shit.
Cat poop everywhere. So if you live in or around London and you are capable of planning 3 months in advance, which I am definitely not,
Nope.
and you love cats, I would definitely recommend going to check it out. It
What's
was
Top
incredible.
Cat like?
I haven't seen Top Cat.
What was the point?
Of going?
What did Top Cat have to do with it?
It's
It's a cat cafe.
You're looking.
But I mean,
you're looking way.
You're looking way
So you
too
just
into
went
this.
to a place
Cats.
and they said
We're always going to
Top
make a
Cat
Snapchat.
exists.
We're always going to make a Snapchat.
I'm going to make content. I generate
Amazing.
content from experience.
It's just going to be just covered in cats.
This is, just making a snowman or a snow angel out of cats. That'd be a cat angel.
That would actually be really cool.
Yeah.
I'd be interested
They probably
in
wouldn't
that.
enjoy it though. But definitely recommend it.
These
Absolutely
poor
recommend it.
rescue
Yeah, the
cats.
moody fucks.
One of the other things I got to do on Sunday was go see the new Ninja Turtles movie.
Really?
Have either of you guys seen it?
No, I
No.
gave you my tickets.
You did give me your tickets, yeah, but I thought I was under the assumption that you had seen it.
No,
So you gave me
no,
my
no,
tickets.
I just thought it'd be a nice thing for you and your brother to do.
Yeah, definitely, and it really was. So I hadn't actually seen the first one, but obviously being a kid in the 90s, huge fan of the Ninja Turtles, all the action figures, comics, love the theme song, obviously. And I actually really enjoyed the movie. I thought it was really great. Obviously, like, I'm not the target demographic for this anymore, and I think, well, okay,
You
you're
love
giving me,
pizza and partying
Yeah, there's one
And
point.
sewers.
and saying
And
cowabunga.
sewers, yeah. I do say Calabunga a lot, yeah.
I've seen you in the middle of the road lifting up manhole covers.
Trying to get in, and I'm
I
like,
need to train.
I just want to see.
where's the turtles? It's just another one full of shit. Where's the
I know,
right
I've been
one?
all the way through it.
There is one scene where one of the turtles, Michelangelo, eats 3 slices of pizza. It just went like stacked up on top of each other. Just like,
That's a good
oh
idea.
my god,
I can get
it's
behind
amazing.
that.
I
Yeah.
absolutely can get behind it.
What's old Arrow like as what's he called?
Casey Jones.
Affleck. Casey Jones.
What's he like as Casey Affleck?
Casey Affleck as Casey Jones.
Which one? Which one's he?
The one with the hockey stick.
Oh,
That's a shame.
Really?
He's like everyone's favourite character from the
Yeah.
comics, isn't he? Because he's a bit brutal.
Yeah.
it was a bit weird. He was a bit weird. He was really close to being a character that really fit and related to. But there's a lot going on in that movie. Like you're trying to really engage with the turtles. Yeah, but then you've got
very
him.
philosophically
There's a lot
intense.
going on.
There's a lot going on.
It's wild, man.
It's like the piano.
Yeah. Fucking hell. Donatello espousing like nihilism in the corner.
It's complex. It's a lot of level. You got
There's
on
a lot
one hand, you
going
got
on.
like the importance of being brothers,
Yeah.
and then on the other, you've got
Bebop
the
and Rocksteady.
conflict. Yeah, you've got Bebop and Rocksteady.
Yeah, but issues of identity.
Issues of identity, like the shame of being different and wanting to relate to people, but you can't because they can't go out during the daytime, obviously, because people will be freaked out. Despite the fact that there's like giant
Krang's in
spaceships
it as
being
well, isn't
like
he?
put together.
Krang's in it.
Krang's been in both, hasn't he?
Yeah.
Seen the last one?
Isn't he? He was Fred
Shredder.
Armisen in the last
No, I
one
don't
or
think he.
something,
No,
wasn't
he's not in the last one, is he?
I
Because
thought-
they made a big deal about his appearance, and they were like, "We've never seen this guy before."
I thought they said they'd changed his voice actor, so I assumed it was someone who
Maybe he
been in
was
the
like
last
a
one.
I've seen the first one and don't remember it very
Right.
well. I wonder if maybe it's an off-camera thing, like kind of a
could be.
setup.
Yeah, like alluding to
Yeah.
his inclusion in the
Like
second
that
one.
bit in
He's
weird.
gross. He's
Good.
so gross.
He should be. That's the
That's
thing, though.
correct.
Like it appeals to young boys where they burp and eat lots of pizza and it's gross.
Yeah.
Good.
Absolutely.
Classic 90s slime business.
Oh,
They love
definitely.
slime and goop in the 90s. Bring it back.
I'm pretty sure I just
Oh,
bought
gack.
like containers of
Gack.
goop.
Yeah,
that I could just
Nickelodeon
throw and
made a
stretch.
whole
Creepy
business.
crawlers. That was like instead of girls making actual delicious things in ovens, as apparently girls are meant to, boys just made like really shit, like inedible jelly scorpions. Like what?
Oh, I remember that.
Yeah.
I
actually.
had a creepy crawlers oven. It was rubbish.
Did you actually make creepy crawlers?
Yeah.
You know
they
all
taste
those
good?
toys where you like,
No, you don't eat them. They're inedible. They're just like
what's the
little
point in that?
floppy things you throw. Well,
Really?
Because they would just like throw
I
them.
thought they were jelly
It's
sweets.
not the way I am. The way I am. I ate a lot of creepy crawlers.
As kids,
Play-Doh, buttons,
Yeah.
marbles,
buttons.
daily diet of Rory Jr.
Somehow buttons is weirder than
Yeah.
the rest.
But marbles? That's
Yeah.
kind of weird.
Well, all right, show off. The
They
thing
look a bit like sweets.
They do, yeah. And Play-Doh
Yeah.
smells delicious.
isn't that weird?
It does.
I don't know if it smells
Why would they
delicious.
not
It smells,
want kids to eat it if they make it smell so good?
and they
No,
make
it
it
does.
bright yellow.
Yeah.
It is edible though. It's just dough with salt in it.
Is it?
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
okay.
you can make your own Play-Doh very easily.
Yeah.
Can you bake with Play-Doh?
Yes, it would be gross, but you can. You can make like ship's biscuits.
Weekend sorted.
Yeah. Isn't it weird though? As kids, like as boys in the 90s, you were taught to just throw scary things at girls. That was that was
Yeah.
the hobby.
Yeah,
What
everything was
that
gross.
about?
Like, do you have one of those like really floppy frisbees that was just like a gross mummy's face?
No. What is that?
All right, I don't even know how I Google this. But
Was your
let me look for it.
was your dad an archaeologist and came back
Yeah.
from a trip with
Oh, sorry,
a
no,
mummy's
no.
face?
It was a Necronomicon. I was throwing the Necronomicon at Lucy because I fancied her.
Stop doing this.
Lucy, love me back. Oh, great. Turned her to a blood puddle.
Did you watch Ash vs Evil Dead?
I watched some of it.
Yeah, I watched all of it. It wasn't great.
I like the
The
pilot.
end sucked. Yeah, it was good for about 6 episodes, and then it really.
I've searched for floppy monster frisbee.
Floppy
I'm
monsters.
yielding few results at this point.
Oh, God.
To be fair, I've just been searching for like secret ultra pope and inbred messiah, so
I'm rocking a
on
pretty
level.
clean history right now.
I will
feel
find
cats.
this at some
I
point.
think I'm the only one not on a list.
Cats
Yeah.
are cool.
Cats are cool. Cat angels.
Cat angels.
This has been a weird podcast.
Cat angels.
Do you know what? Whilst we're waiting for you, the thing
angels.
that I would like to see next after Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles
Yes.
is
Power Rangers.
Well, that is coming.
Sorry.
Apparently, there's.
I cannot force my opinion upon
That's
you. I
fine.
do
There's
realize
apparently
that.
8 movies of that coming out.
Yeah, I did see that. I'm so ready.
The thing I want is a big crossover film about all the mutated teenagers. So you've got Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Biker Mice from Mars,
Amazing.
Street Sharks,
Street Sharks.
Get them all in one film
Damn,
as
I
like
love the
these
Street Sharks.
tortured, horrible hybrid children, fucking Dr. Moreau business, and just
love-
have them talk about their problems.
I'd love if the reality of Street Sharks was like they get transformed and then they're all just like,
Well, that's
they can't breathe. Just
Street
flop and
Sharks.
die.
They ate concrete all the time.
God, they were so jacked as well. It was amazing. They're just
They
like
were
monsters. This is what happens to a child when he just watches Street Sharks and Dragon Ball Z.
Yeah.
Like and wrestling.
Do you remember the first episode of Street Sharks where they got turned into Street
No.
Sharks? They were already super jacked.
Oh, okay,
like
so
they were
that's like-
hench kids. Like, it was unbelievable.
What age are the Street Sharks?
They're meant to be like 18, I think.
No way.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Goops, mummy frisbee.
Frisbees.
Wow.
So it does
Good
exist.
God.
You used to throw them at people.
I didn't have one of those.
So were they meant to catch it and throw it back? Or was it just like,
Yeah,
I'm
I'd
throwing
shout when it
weird-
was on its way.
Here's some goop.
Goop, gack.
Jesus. But even like just like balls of goop you'd throw at a wall and then
Yeah.
it would like stick and you peel it off, but it still
Well,
left
gack was
the
good.
greasy
Yeah.
stain
When you used to
line.
put it back in its container, it would fart.
Oh yeah,
Oh,
you're
yeah.
like, God,
Even-
we were so gross.
Man, the 90s was so stupid.
Yeah,
What
so
were we
dumb.
doing? Like,
All the adverts were just like, goop, gunk,
Yeah.
punch it, throw it,
Super
bullets. Just like,
soakers.
yeah.
Well, that's why Dave Benson Phillip was an
Yeah.
icon.
yeah, and that's why he's now a guy who just does removals.
But I was remembering all the shows that centered on just sliming
Yeah.
people.
Yeah.
Noel's House Party.
Nickelodeon
Slimed.
Awards.
Yeah,
that was
Choice
all.
Awards.
they
Get your
gooped everyone.
own back. Just throwing
Slime.
adults into big
I loved
vats
it.
of slime.
What's the Get Your Own Back theme
Slime
tune?
was a big thing. Well,
It was a
Nickelodeon
really
was
good
literally
theme tune.
slime. Their
Yeah, it
logo
was slime for
slime.
days.
Yeah.
They loved it.
It's ridiculous.
And
I wouldn't
then
get away with that nowadays.
you watch Mummies Alive and have a biscuit.
I love
it
the
was
Mummies
good.
Alive.
Yeah.
They are the mummies. Da, 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 da,
That's really
another
good.
theme song.
Good.
So Turtles was one of the better movies that I'd seen recently because we all also went and saw the Warcraft movie.
I didn't. I turned that right down.
You made a
Yeah.
wise choice.
Ooh,
So where
it's
to
got
begin?
overall a pretty bad reception.
Yes.
There's
Apart from us.
yeah,
IGN gave
there
it a
are
really
some
good
outlying
review.
reviews. Total Films is
What
like
did we give
around
it?
3 stars.
Seven.
Like around a 3-star kind of rating. The points are pretty well backed up in the review, and the people who have liked it, Mark Kermode, have kind of picked up on the same things. Like, is a blockbuster that tries to do some kind of character stuff.
Yeah.
It does some interesting things if it is the first part of a trilogy, which I don't think it will become.
No.
Overall, you and I really didn't like it because it's just a bit all over the place. Like, so preface this by saying I have no prior Warcraft knowledge. I've never played World of Warcraft. But as kind of a big high fantasy epic, I think it does a really bad job of establishing its world and like easing you into it.
Yeah.
There's no kind of equivalent of a Luke Skywalker where you're finding out stuff with them. The first 20 minutes
Gotcha.
are like bouncing between this high fantasy place, between different species. People are using words that you have no context for. And I found that really alienating.
Yeah.
Because I'm just like, I don't know what any of this stuff is.
So is it just orcs versus humans, big war, and
So-
then there's like a Jesus baby that is half and half or
Yeah,
something?
like there's some heavy, like handed
Jesus,
religious stuff
baby.
at the end. Like
Moses
most
baby.
stuff.
I think
So
one
this-
of the
this-
problems is
yeah.
like it's a movie that is obviously trying to set up a lot for a trilogy,
Yeah.
but by doing that, it kind of makes it so bad that I don't necessarily think it's going to become a trilogy.
Yeah, there's some weird performances in it. Like,
Really
I don't
weird
think Dominic
performances.
Cooper's very good as the heroic king that you're supposed to want to die for.
No, he kind of reminds me of Lord Farquhar from Shrek.
Yeah,
I don't want to die for him.
He does look quite little.
Yeah, he's
a
quite
did-
small.
Diddy boy.
Yeah, Ben Foster as the Guardian. Like, he's hamming it up
Really
so
weird.
much. What else? Like, a lot of the physical sets don't look very good. But the thing I do like quite a lot, I thought the scenes with just the orcs were quite good.
Yes.
Like
Really?
Toby Kebbell performance capture.
Oh,
When he's
he's
like,
very good,
But when
Toby
they're
Kebbell.
interacting and you've seen it all from the orc perspective, it's like, this is actually really
Hmm.
good. Like, those scenes really well done. The fight scenes between the orcs when they're doing the kind of like gladiatorial stuff.
Yeah.
Those are the best scenes in the movie. And
The fight scenes are really, really incredible. And I think there's a really strong and focused point, which is, essentially like there's a portal and orcs are trying to open a portal and humans are trying to shut down that portal. And
their world has
that's something
died.
you can really
Right.
hold on to.
So it's about immigration.
Yeah, essentially.
Like, their world has died. They're coming in through this big portal. Everyone in Azeroth is terrified about these like people coming
Yeah,
through. and-
Trump wants to build a wall and
Mm-hmm.
get the orcs to pay for it, but it's not happening, so he needs to get wizards to help.
I do. Another thing I think it does quite well in a different way is like visualizing magic in a way that doesn't look like Harry Potter. Like
Yeah,
a lot of
that's
magic is usually 2 wands and it's kind of rays of light. Where this is, and I think Doctor Strange will probably do this later in the year, is trying to create a different visual glamour for magic.
There's
I'm
spells,
really interested
which is
in that.
cool.
There's spells and there's markings, and
Yeah.
so I played a little bit of World of Warcraft, and I play Hearthstone as well. So I know quite a decent amount about that world, and that universe, and the creatures. So there's like little jokes, like at one point someone gets polymorphed and like turned into a sheep, and like there's like a handful of people in the audience that kind of chuckled at that because obviously they get that reference. But I don't know, for maybe you're like, that was a bit jarring.
I think it's like, I thought it was amusing,
Yeah.
but then that's where the tone is a bit off, because I think like what I gather from World of Warcraft and what I know is quite a humorous game.
Yeah.
It can be. Yeah.
It can be like there's
always been a vein of humour throughout it.
Whereas this, for the most part, is gravely serious, even though some of its stuff is ostensibly quite campy.
Yeah. That's a shame.
And it doesn't have as much fun as I think
Oh,
it
no,
should.
absolutely.
Is there a character called Grom Hellscream? And does he go, "Welcome to my nightmare"?
No.
Because that's a thing that happens in the first
There
2
might
Warcraft
be.
games.
I don't think so. The one I got a chuckle out of was there's a it's like a little
I really enjoyed
montage
that.
where
good.
they're passing a little swamp. It's like tiny thing.
yeah.
You're passing a swamp, and there's a little creature like right in the foreground. He's blurry, and I was like, "What is that?" And all I hear is, "Oh,
so it's a Murloc.
And I'm like, "Murloc!" I was like losing my mind. It was incredible. Which is essentially like the Wilhelm scream of like the Blizzard universe.
They've got that in Overwatch as well.
Do they actually?
There's a big Murloc statue, and if you shoot it enough times, it makes the Murloc
That's
noise.
amazing. So
good.
there were a couple little things like that. And in terms of like some of the spells they use, like those are spells from the game. So you kind of like know what they're going to do when he's casting them and how they affect like people.
I think it's just a bit uneven. Like some of the effects are great, like the orc stuff's great, and some of the effects aren't so great. Like it's just a bit inconsistent,
Right.
as well.
It was weird.
And there's just some weird moments.
There's a lot of things that happen, and then like
don't
you're
mean
like,
anything.
why did it? Yeah.
I don't want to
so-
go into spoilers, but yeah, there's certain key character moments that just fall a bit flat, and you're like, oh.
It's
Yeah.
worrying when that's the human stuff as well.
Yeah.
Where you're failing to empathise with
Yeah,
the
the orc
people
stuff,
you look
like-
like.
So some of the acting and the dialogue was just awful as well. There were some bits as well in the writing where it was like they're trying to find out who's doing something, and they were like, someone just did this. Yeah, he's been acting really shady recently. Do you think it means something? Nah, it's fine. Don't worry about it. You're like, are you kidding me? It's obviously.
It's like, yeah, he burnt all my research. That's probably nothing.
Yeah. It's like, it's
I
crazy.
watched it's kind of the opposite problem, but it's a similar thing. I watched Star Trek Into Darkness again for some reason the other day. I really dislike that film a lot.
Yeah, I don't mind it.
The bit in
Did you
that
like the previous
film-
one?
Yeah, I
love the previous
really like
one. I think
the
the previous
original
one was
reboot.
great.
Yeah, I think that's a proper sci-fi romp.
Yeah.
Whereas the new one was just rubs. And there's a bit in it where it just cuts like the camera. I might be misremembering this, but basically it's like an office camera move into Carl Urban as Bones, and they're like, "Hey, but completely disconnected to the rest of the scene." They're like, "Bones, what are you up to over there?" And he's like, "With that Tribble." And he's like, firstly, Tribble references shit, and he's like, "Oh, I'm just like, there's something really weird with Khan's blood, so I'm just injecting this Tribble with it, and I think it's got regenerative properties." And then they leave it for the entire film, and then at the end, someone goes, "Wait a second, I've got a plan," and then they save Kirk's life with it, and you're like, "Fuck you!" This kind of storytelling is so lazy.
Yeah, it's
and
I just can't. I still can't believe they did Carl again. Like,
Yeah,
the
well-
whole premise of your canonical reboot was we can go off and do whatever we want now. Do that again?
Yeah.
Sweet.
And after like denying it for so long as well, and you're just
And
like,
also,
what was the point?
and also that
misguided.
one
Yeah.
bit where they call up real Leonard Nimoy, and he's just
It's
like,
so weird.
"Khan's bad." And you're like, "Oh, great. Yeah, I kind of get that." Like, he's currently killing literally everyone.
This guy, yeah, he's bad.
Yeah. He looks like Benedict Cumberbatch in your timeline. Weird.
Well, yeah.
It's like-
So it's a while since I watched this. Should he not look like the original Khan?
Yes.
Because that thing predates the
'Cause
divergence of the
He's
timeline.
precisely the same person.
Unbelievable. Because I remember thinking that at the time, and it wasn't like a massive deal was made about it.
Maybe all those superhumans in tubes are
Khan?
called Khan, so you could say he's just a different
Right.
Khan. that's total made up. I'm
Yeah.
speculating just to get them off the
cracked
hook.
it.
I mean, it's still a bad film. I don't care.
Yeah.
You should do PR for them. This
Thanks,
is
man.
great.
I
yeah.
will. Yeah, Star Trek Beyond.
yeah.
It looks not bad.
I like the new trailer, actually. I don't know. I liked it. Because it went from a film that I barely thought about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Couldn't care less.
Whereas the new trailer, I was like, I really like the new poster.
Oh, the poster's brilliant with all the tendrils coming down. That
I'm
was
ready
good.
to like it as well. Like,
Yeah.
it's always a movie that
I think they just squandered the goodwill towards that first Star Trek, the J.J.
Yeah.
Abrams one. Like,
Yeah.
it was such a great blockbuster. And then they just waited one too many years. It was like 3-year gap between that
Yeah.
and Star Wars, and it just lost all momentum. Then Star Wars was happening again. I just...
What worries me about the new one is it's written by Simon Pegg, and the trailers have a lot of Simon Pegg in
Yeah.
them. And I'm like, is he writing himself?
No,
into
I just said
the
being
story?
Scottish. Nothing against being Scottish.
His
I mean,
Scottish
his
accent is
being
bad.
Scottish.
he's such a huge Star Trek fan, though. You'd like to hope he would
Is he,
know.
though?
Yeah, I think so.
Oh, yeah, I think so. I think
It was
he's a-
huge Star Wars. That's what he's publicly known for more.
I think he's just general nerd, isn't he?
He's a
big nerd.
If space does anything to go by.
Yeah.
Yeah. So hopefully he knows where the film should go.
Well, we got
Yeah,
off-
into space.
yeah.
into space.
We
Which
got
the
off
last one
topic
didn't
again.
do at all.
I was going to say,
went into darkness.
I'm a massive Duncan Jones fan. Like, Moon is one of my favourite ever films, and I think Source Code is brilliant. Like, is there any trace of him in Warcraft?
Interesting. What do you think is him as a director? 'Cause
I think-
it's like 2 movies in, and then it's like hard to get
The
maybe
common
a grasp of.
the common thread to me is like quite a deep analysis of a very small thing. And obviously Warcraft being a massive epic fantasy movie, that's harder. But like Moon is all about a man essentially alone, and you're just watching him with like laser focus. And then Source Code is all about watching the same scene over and over again with laser focus. He seems really interested in like analysing very tiny elements of film, and I wondered if there was anything like
I think
that
it's
in this.
hard because maybe it's just because obviously instantly it's a much noisier film.
Yeah.
Harder to latch onto that. Maybe it's something about seeing things. It's like tackling perspective.
Yeah.
And seeing the same issue through multiple eyes. But even then, I don't think there's enough focus on examining that if that is the thing.
Yeah.
But I wonder though, because this movie's so big, if it kind of got like the Marvel treatment, where he's been handed like a list of events
Well,
that
that
need to
project's been
happen,
around
and,
for a
like,
long,
yeah.
long time with
Yeah.
multiple writers: Gary Whitta, Sam Raimi. Like,
Christ, yeah.
yeah.
It's been in production for ages,
2006, I
absolutely
think.
ages. Oh, it's ridiculous. So those
Shame.
were some of the cool events that I got to go to this week, and there's one more that I love. We're just talking about Rory's week of fun here, essentially, which was MCM Comic Con. Now, I think I worked it out that I have been to way too many of these Comic Cons recently, but this one, I think, in terms of cosplay, was the best. I saw some incredible cosplays, specifically
In the mirror.
In the mirror, boom. I saw like some of the most insane cosplays I've ever seen. I mean, Overwatch obviously was huge this year.
What was
Which
the
was
best
really-
Overwatch you saw?
The best Overwatch I saw, there were lots of Reapers, which, you know, isn't
kind of
necessarily the
easy.
hardest one because you just have the mask and like a cloak.
Yeah,
and
you
look at
just
them and-
put on your old Assassin's Creed costume.
but there was also, who's the girl in the big robot suit, and then she jumps
Diva.
out. Yeah, there was her.
That's hard.
And then also Pharaoh as well. Like,
Oh, yeah.
like the huge big like armor
Big
plates and
shoulder
wings.
armors.
Yeah, absolutely insane.
Nice.
But that as well with Dark Souls cosplay. My God. Well, I saw the Onion Knight, which was incredible because
That's
I forgot
cool as
I
hell.
wasn't in a video game for a second. I just turned
Trying
around
to
and I
help
was
him.
like, Onion Knight!
He couldn't get into the toilet. He's like,
Yeah.
I've got this.
I've come up against a wall, so to speak.
Oh, quite typical.
Saw Solaire, which was also incredible, but the best one I saw from Dark Souls was
Gaping Dragon.
Smaug.
You saw Smaug?
I saw Smaug. Wait, he's the...
Ornstein.
Which one's the small one?
Ornstein.
I saw Ornstein. Yeah, I didn't see Smaug. He'd be just a big fat man. So I guess I did see him then, yeah.
Rory
boom, boom.
Powers. You're the bully of MCM
I'm not
Comic
the bully
Con.
of
You walking
MCM.
around going, you could be Smaug, you could be Smaug.
I did think...
Come on, hold people down. Give me your Funko Pop money.
I did think it would be really funny to one year just cosplay as a jock and go around and like make fun of people and push them around. Yeah, just have like a solo cup full of beer and like a snapback.
You'd ruin it
tank
for so
top.
many people. They just cry.
Ever seen Back to the Future? I'm Biff. Let's go.
It'd be so great.
Yeah, Biff.
Yeah.
I was thinking of Buzz from Home
Toy
Alone.
Story? Oh,
Is he called Buzz?
What?
from what?
His brother in Home Alone. What's he called?
Buzz.
Buzz, yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm getting confused between my bullies.
He's also a bully. Yeah, exactly.
between 80s and 90s bullies.
Yeah, I mean the Overwatch one was really insane because I guess people played the beta and then already knew that they wanted to like, or else like you have like 2 days.
Cosplay's been going around for that for so long
It's
now.
crazy.
Yeah.
It's absolutely insane.
I love it.
But it was like, it's such a good event. There was so much stuff to do there. Like, obviously, I go every year, but this was one of the years that I went like all 3 days. So it's just so much fun. It's just absolutely insane. Some of the like really, really cool events. They have some amazing things here. I also saw a whole team of like bounty hunters, like all cosplaying, but they'd all had done like their own tweaks like on the costume. So there's like a steampunk bounty hunter who had like Western revolvers.
Wait, what do you mean? Like Star Wars?
Yeah,
bounty
Star Wars
hunters,
bounty
right.
hunters. Yeah. Just like,
Not like Dog.
it gets, no.
Steampunk Dog the Bounty Hunter. Really shit blonde hair and a top hat.
And like a pocket watch, yeah. Rent's late. Yeah, it was absolutely insane. So I wanted to know if you guys could cosplay one character, what would you cosplay?
Oh, God.
I have
Because
cosplay.
Gav said he wanted to cosplay a gross monster from Dark Souls.
I might be one of the
That's kinda
magicians
fitting.
from Dynasty Warriors. They've got cool square hats.
Oh yeah, I love those guys. That would be really
got
cool.
big floaty robes. I like them.
Floaty robes.
I have
Zhuge
cosplayed.
Liang.
You have
I cosplayed
cosplayed?
as Spider-Man in my youth.
Did you
In my
actually?
youth, I have a very expensive Spider-Man costume I imported from Japan.
That's amazing.
Holy shit.
Why have we not ever done anything with this? What size is
Because
it
it
for?
got
What
fat.
age is it for?
Not wearing that. Very unforgiving.
Oh, don't let Bully Roy see you in that. He'd
No, well, you
kick
wouldn't.
the shit out of you.
Wouldn't. But what I do quite like
Has
is
there-
I've got it at home and I've got it in my t-shirt drawer. But under all my t-shirts, like I'm hiding it.
Oh, that's cool.
So like
That's
when
good.
I get a t-shirt out, I just look at it going, the time will come.
Has there ever been chubby middle-aged Spider-Man in comics?
There's been Peter Porker, who is
Oh, I have
the
seen-
pig Spider-Man, Spider-Pig.
Yeah.
Is that a real thing? Peter
Yeah,
Porker?
yeah.
He's
Oh
an
my God.
alternate dimension Spider-Man called Peter
Wait,
Porker.
so-
Seems-
he's
so
a,
wait, so
he's
he's
an
a
actual
pig?
actual pig.
So he's a
who-
pig that was bitten by a spider.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's loads of Spider-Verse is a comic
Yeah.
where they all have to come together because there's some sort of cosmic
Yeah.
threat against Spider-Men.
There's a British Spider-Man.
it's-
It's great.
it's
It's,
brilliant.
written by Dan Slott. Came out like last year.
It's so great.
That's kind of cool.
It's a really, really good comic because you've got like, because there's Spider-Gwen and Miles Morales and all
oh,
that.
yeah.
But then they've got like, they have steampunk Spider-Man,
Yeah,
obviously.
Indian Spider-Man, British Spider-Man.
What if a
They
spider?
really went all out. All the nationalities.
All of them.
That's a few hundred. ticked off.
Take them as red.
Guatemalan Spider-Man.
What if a spider was bitten by a radioactive pig? Would that be in Spider Pig?
That'd be cool as
No,
hell.
pig spider.
Oh, there is one of them that is just...
I'm really thinking about this
Pig
now.
spider, yeah.
There is one of them that's just like a boy that's turned into a spider and it's gross as hell.
Well, that's what wasn't it like the Tobey Maguire one where like
Oh, he gets
they don't-
the little spider fronds on his hands and he can...
yeah, and people like there's like a news report and they're like talking to people on the streets and one of them thinks like under his mask he might have like
Yeah.
12 eyes or
Yeah.
something. It's like that's quite a real possibility. He got the best abilities
when you-
of
Yeah, he got
being
a
bitten by a
six-pack.
spider. Yeah.
When you say real
When
possibility...
I get bit by insects, shit happens. Nothing. I just get little bumps.
Viruses.
Does he spontaneously grow a six-pack in
Yeah,
that film?
like
It's
overnight,
really
yeah,
weird.
It's jacked
because-
overnight, and it's really bad representation of like we need to make a movie for like the comic book generation. So you got this guy who gets bitten by a spider. He doesn't need his glasses anymore. He
Oh,
gets
there's
jacked. Like, he becomes.
terrible.
He doesn't like.
There's
leave
terrible
you
error
behind.
with the glasses thing as well because, like when he puts his glasses on the next day after he's had the fever,
Yeah.
and the camera's looking through his glasses, and then suddenly it's all blurry, but it's blurry in the frame outside of the glasses.
Oh.
Terrible, Sam
Idiots.
Raimi. Oh.
Unbelievable.
Like, how am
No
I supposed to
wonder.
take that seriously now?
I know.
Yeah.
Ruined it for me.
Worse than 3, personally. We should stop.
Yeah, stop for a second. For the edit.
That fucking terrifying.
That's really scary. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's really,
I thought there was
creepy.
like a war.
They're killing someone outside.
Yeah.
We'd go outside and we're just dead.
Yeah.
What?
Just one cake
This
in the
is
middle of
actually
all
the
of them.
safest place in the office.
Is it?
I actually thought about
Yeah, what
if a
someone-
zombie apocalypse like kicked off. I mean, you don't have a lot of food is the only problem.
Actually,
but this
if a
is
zombie
this is good
apocalypse
place.
kicks off
Could
in
eat
general, I think I would come here.
You think
Like,
so?
We're high up.
Maybe raid the Sainsbury's. And
You've
then
got
make
like,
it over.
we'd probably want to take down that wall so we could see out all sides.
I was going to say you'd want to be able
That's a
to
good idea.
see.
Well, it's good insulation though.
But also, it's also soundproof, so like you could be screaming and like no one would know if
you
you're
wouldn't
safe.
know if they're right outside.
It's not that soundproof.
I think this is a good space in general.
Yeah.
I don't know. Actually, there's a lot of glass down there.
I had a great plan when I was in Northern Ireland because there was a police station, a supermarket, and a dock with a ton of boats on it right beside each other. So I was like,
good.
guns, food, boat, and just sail out, and like, boom. I don't know how to sail,
It's not
though.
been
That's
enough
obstacle number one.
covering what zombies would do with water.
I think they drown. They can't swim, right?
They don't drown.
Well,
They
how
just
can
like
they
flop
drown,
about,
though?
yeah.
They're just animated.
But they would just float, like, they wouldn't, I don't think they can climb.
Yeah.
They'd
well,
probably just fall apart.
Yeah, depending on what. I guess.
rotten
Yeah.
I guess how old they are as well.
Like what extent that. Yeah.
Old bloaty corpses.
Cool. I'll round off this one and then we'll just go into the
Quick
reader
feedback.
Yeah, exactly. What were we last talking about? Spider pigs and stuff?
Fuck knows.
Who cares? Who cares? So that was cosplay, anime, and everything nerdy about the MCM Comic Con. We're going to move on now to reader feedback. So who has the first piece?
I got the first bit. This
Lovely.
is from CJ.
Have you drawn the onion knight on that?
Yeah, a little. On your
That's
neck.
nice.
That is nice.
Last week you were talking about the annoyance of spoilers, so I thought I'd chime in with an alternative opinion.
With loads of spoilers.
So, the crying game. No, anti-spoiler culture is out of control and needs to be stopped. If a TV show or a movie relies on the shock value of events instead of the presentation of the events themselves, that media has failed. The concept of spoilers privileges these shock moments over style and form. What should matter is how the story of someone in a show or movie dying is told and shown and the emotional effect it has on other characters, not from the basic fact that that person dies.
I get that point, but
Yeah.
that's privileging twist culture over spoiler culture. Twist culture is annoying. Like, after The Usual Suspects and, you know, Sixth Sense, everything had to have a twist, and that's
Yeah.
bad writing. That's just going, no, 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 yes. Whereas spoiler culture is wider than that. Like, I would be annoyed if someone told me about a major character event in, like, Fargo, which is not like a twist-based thing, really. There are moments that are twisty, but, like, I wouldn't want anyone telling me stuff about Fargo before I'd seen it.
I agree.
Because
Like, I think-
I enjoy the representation of those characters.
Yeah, and like CJ's point, it's something I've kind of iterated a version of on other podcasts in the superhero show. It's like sometimes it's the execution of a moment, like what is said, the way it's shot. But if I knew said character was going to die, it would also undermine the impact, suspense in that scene. Like, I don't know they're going to die.
Yeah.
Not only that, but it undermines everything that happens before that section, because
Yeah.
then you're watching everything with
Knowing,
prejudice.
Knowing it's
prior
gonna lead up
knowledge.
to that,
So
yeah.
I do think it does impact it, but I think, yeah, you're right to distinguish between twist culture, spoiler culture.
Yeah, I absolutely get the point
Yeah.
that if something is relying on a twist,
It's a trick.
it's fundamentally
and
flawed.
CJ goes
okay?
on to make the point why a lot of M. Night Shyamalan's stuff doesn't hold up to repeat viewing is because it turns on that little mechanism.
Whereas, actually, maybe he's got a point. I don't know. I don't think, like, we've talked about this all the time, but The Prestige,
Yeah.
which is a film of twists, essentially, I think knowing one or a few of those wouldn't actually ruin the experience of watching that film, because so much of its brilliance is in how it builds those and how you see the cogs turning.
But that
a lot of the time.
I maybe it would affect how much your journey with that film and how it changes, like you peel back those layers yourself. And
Yeah.
one of the reasons I think we all love that film so much is we've had that experience of watching it, rewatching it, speaking to other people going, oh, really?
Yeah.
That's in there as well. The other day, I just caught a bit of it on BBC Two. It was on over the weekend.
Yeah.
And I just watched it for 5 minutes. And just with the knowledge, it completely transformed this other scene. I was like,
It's
I
crazy.
have to watch this again this weekend.
Honestly, we should just do a weekly Prestige spoiler cast.
But that, like, looking at that
Every
movie
minute
individually,
analyzed.
like, that's a movie that, as we said, is not necessarily ruined by knowing, like, the big main twist, because there's so many subsequential twists and so many, like different, like, meanings behind each twist. So it's like, if you know one or know two, then it's obviously not going to, like, ruin your enjoyment of the movie. Whereas, like, something like an episode of Game of Thrones, which maybe the twist is the reason you watch that episode. It's like a lot of talking, and then, like, the
but I
point
think-
at the end is this twist.
There's a
It kind of undermines the point of, like, all the setup, like, to reach.
Yeah,
that
because if
point.
I know, like, there's some stuff going around recently about what episode X character might return in, I don't really want to know that X character's coming back.
Yeah.
Because I'm just expecting it all. I know I can probably pick the scene it's going to happen in when X, the right people turn up at the beginning of the scene. It's like, well, it's obviously happening now. And I think it does, like, it undermines it.
I think it's just like a product of a generation where it's so easy to share everything so instantly.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like, I don't really remember a time where we've had a TV show, like, for Game of Thrones, for example, where it's just such a huge phenomenon where after every episode, the top articles on, like, every website are like, let's talk about this
Birds of
thing.
a feather.
It's really, really, oh yeah.
Birds of feather, yeah.
But I mean, it's still like also like
Breaking Bad, I think,
Twitter
was
and Facebook and
one of the
everything,
early.
Yeah.
was early on.
Absolutely, absolutely.
The way people discussed that was crazy. Like, that was a proper phenomenon for a little bit.
But alternatively, people can be very sensitive about this stuff. It does go both ways. Sometimes I've seen where it's like, let's talk about this episode of Game of Thrones, and then you use like a picture, and it's like, I didn't know we'd go back to this location, and it's like, oh, come on, man, come on.
And I think
It's
sometimes,
tough.
yeah.
It is tough.
Let's
It's
move on.
tough. We can leave it at that. I have an email here from Craig Chaplin. Craig says, I just wanted to ask if you are still playing The Division. I'm on the verge of giving it in. It's not fun. The game has reached a point where you're either a have or a have-not, and Massive seem to be desperate to throw have-nots to the wolves. As a have-not, I've reached a point where, having finished the solo game, I'm thrown in with players with a gear score 20% higher than mine and dominated. I join with other players, but I'm insta-kicked for having a low gear score. It's a cruel world we live in. The game, in its present form, resembles a school playground. The big kids bully the small kids, whilst the teachers turn a blind eye.
Sounds like you'd like it.
This is, yeah.
Love it. Love it.
Love it.
Quite a sad look into Craig's opinion of himself.
Oh.
It is, yeah.
You're not
It's
a
all right,
have-not,
Craig.
Craig, it's okay, and I completely understand. It's kind of like, it's a game mechanic that on paper sounds really great. You know, when someone pitches you a game where there's this like wilderness and, you know, anything goes out there. You can do this, and you can get strong and survive, and you need to get better to beat other people. But then the reality of that is you go into the dark zone and there's 5 people at the door that just kill you every time. You're like, what is the point of
I mean,
this?
the dark zone's kind of busted. Like, that was one of I think going into the dark zone for the first time and finding out how it worked was actually one of the best and newest feeling gaming experiences I'd had for years.
Yeah,
like,
well,
I thought it was genuinely incredible.
As we said on
we
when
played
the
for
beta
7 hours
launched,
straight.
we played an insane amount,
Yeah.
like in the dark zone.
But it's showing that the cracks in the design are showing now, especially like because I am a big Destiny fan, and I was a big Division fan for a little bit, but I can see myself going back to Destiny, even though I've fallen behind everyone I played with and all of that stuff, because it's designed firstly for co-op play and secondly to smooth out the differences between players in PvP.
Absolutely, yeah. That's what I was
Like-
gonna say. Crucible is so well balanced.
Yeah,
like
like-
I can go against someone with a way higher light level, way higher weapons, and
Exactly.
it's just like minimal bonuses
Yeah,
above me.
whereas the Division does not accommodate you in that
No.
respect, and
It's quite unforgiving in
and
that sense.
that's the problem. Is, you know, we were playing what amounts to the early game for a long time, and we were all having a load of fun.
Yeah.
And as soon as it got towards the end game, you just go, oh wow, you know, I can't do this. Like, I would have to put in so much time and go through so much bullshit to get
Yeah.
to the point where I am, as Craig puts it, it becomes a chore, and like I'm not in it for that.
It honestly does, and I think that was one of my problems that I had with the Division, is that I didn't find the grind that exciting. With Destiny, you know, I was more than happy to do PvP on Crucible, or just, you know, repeat raids, or like weekly Nightfall strikes, and it just feels fun. It feels satisfying. With the Division, it always felt like kind of sluggish, like doing the same things, throwing the same stuff.
None of us are still playing it, I don't think.
I think Dale and Alex-
A few of us got level cap.
I think
but
Alex might be.
Yeah, but I think he was having that same frustration as Craig was having, where just like grinding and like he couldn't get matched with people.
Alex doesn't go into the dark zone,
I think
really. He just does the campaign stuff.
I
as far
think
as know.
part of the problem is like an aesthetic one as well. Like in Destiny, everything looks weird and has funny descriptions, and like
your
there's
end
a real
game weapons are the same as the one you started out with, like visually.
Yeah, like loot wise, it's exciting to get loot, whereas in the Division, like, I just wanted sniper rifles, and it didn't matter what they looked like. I just liked using a sniper rifle.
And in Division as well, like you form an attachment to the gun a bit more because they all have their own names, and maybe it's like
in Destiny.
Oh yeah, sorry. In Destiny, they all have like their own names, their own looks, and you have guns that are being sold for like one weekend. You know, you can get like the Nighthawk or something, a helmet, and like really, really specific, cool, quirky things. Whereas we said with the Division, it's like here's a variant of an AK-47. But again, that's just kind of like the problems that you get when you have like quite a realistic, gritty game.
I did a whole quest in Destiny, like a really long, tortuous quest for this shotgun called the Chaperone.
I know the Chaperone.
Just because I loved its tiny backstory, which was it was the shotgun that was used to help one of the merchants get out of a war zone, and her mother used it and then gave it to her.
That's
and you're like,
pretty good.
that's cool as hell. Like I own like a little bit of this world's history.
Yeah, but I've got an M4 that used to belong to the police.
Did it?
So,
Interesting.
a bit of lore there.
I think I have 12 of those.
bit more like. Well, yeah, police had a lot.
It would be cool if it was like.
What's your inference from that? Ooh.
I'd love it if it was like
Master Rory.
Policeman Andrews M4.
Yeah.
It's like,
Has Andy written on the bottom of its shoe.
that'd be cool.
So to answer your question simply, Craig, no, we're not really. Two of us are playing the Division still.
And not in here.
No.
We're cool guys who play Overwatch now.
Exactly.
This is from Rob Porter. Rob with a double B, so Robob. That's not how it's said. I think you should get... Wait, no, this starts earlier. Following on from the multitude of emails you've already had regarding review scores, this is my 2 cents. I think you should give a score based on how good the game is, not necessarily how much fun you had playing it. Difficult to do, but allow me to give you an example. Forza Motorsport. I think it's solid, but pretty dull, so personally I'd give it a 7.0 if the score was reflecting how much I enjoyed the game. But if I was working for IGN and had to write a review, I'd probably score it around a 9.3 because it's a phenomenal driving game and has a ridiculous amount of longevity. And if you like that kind of serious, actionless driving sim, then you will adore Forza. But, like I said, personally I found it dull. So... that is a point. The kind of the role of objective criticism should be that you are representing what is good about a game. But it is impossible to keep your opinion out of something.
But that's also like in part why we choose someone who is
That's
passionate
why
about
we
sports
assign, for
games
instance, this is a really good example, driving games, not everyone has prior knowledge about cars or even likes that genre. We have a guy who works in Australia called Luke Riley who reviews a lot of our racing games because he really likes them.
Yeah.
On the flip side, you don't want someone who just blindly loves a thing because that's going to skew it in a different way.
Yeah. This is, and even that doesn't preclude the fact that someone might just not like a game as much as other people. So, the recent example of Stellaris, that was given to someone who likes strategy games and just didn't like Stellaris as much as everyone else. You can't do anything about that. Like, from their perspective, that game is not fulfilling the criteria of being the good game that it should be. And unfortunately, for I don't know, morons on the internet who get angry, like, that was different to other people's opinions of that game. Like, you can't extricate those two things from one another as easily as that. With Forza, I totally get it. But, like, if you don't like the game and you're giving it a 9.3, that's just as disingenuous as saying, I don't like this, so you shouldn't like it.
Well, that's why we would typically try to avoid any situation where the person
It's like,
reviewing the game
why I would never review a fighting game, because it's like, I'm not experienced. Also, like, in that way, I'm not... My ability isn't up to a level where I'm getting the most out of this experience.
Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah, it's really tough, and this is why we've had 3 weeks of discussions in the podcast about review scores, and it keeps coming up.
It's tough, but it's good to talk about it because there are a lot of interesting points, and I think what we're going to keep coming back to is just that there's always going to be a certain level of subjectivity to it.
And it will be
just the way it's going to be.
And that's kind of fun. I
but
like
that's
that.
fine.
Yeah.
This is why I like on big review days, like when Overwatch came out, because I'm super into that game. I went around and read everyone's reviews because I wanted everyone's
Absolutely.
thoughts.
What a boring world it would be if a game is released and it's like the internet says it's a 7.
Well, it would just
It's
be
like,
a test.
Yeah.
That we would administer once
Yeah.
and then circulate the findings.
It's variety, especially as well if you...
Should be great.
I was going to insult someone. I realised I shouldn't because we're in public.
Sassy Joe.
Yeah.
It's fine, Joe. Gav's not here. But also it's interesting because if there's like a site you like or a particular person who reviews for a website, you then trust their reviews and you get to know their opinions.
There's reviewers I like who sometimes I frequently disagree with.
Absolutely.
Yeah. But it's always if you like someone's writing style and their take on things, then it is just as interesting to read a bad review that you disagree with. Like I very rarely had a point where I go, that person should be told they are bad at reviewing a game because I disagree with them.
Yeah.
Like it just doesn't occur to me. And maybe that's just because we're in the business of criticism and that's where our head is all the time. And maybe
sometimes
if you just come to one website and read all the reviews on it, then I get that can be tough. And I also understand why that makes Metacritic useful. I just think that's reprehensible because it's bad for everyone and makes things difficult.
A strong and very intelligent final point.
Yeah, boy.
That's everything from us this week. Thank you for joining us, and we will see you next week.
Put the visor back on.
Oh.
Cat Angels!
Goodbye.